Welcome. Get ready for the most powerful sci-fi movies ever made. These are the films that pushed boundaries, redefined cinema, and shaped the future of science fiction. Each one is a masterpiece that pulls you in and doesn't let go. Some of these titles you may know, others will surprise you, but one thing is certain: this is the ultimate sci-fi lineup. And at the very end, there's a true hidden gem. A film you've probably never heard of, but one that could completely change the way you see sci-fi. This is one of the greatest undiscovered treasures of the genre. Don't miss it. Black Mirror, Bandersnatch. Welcome to 1984, where a young programmer, Stephen Butler, faces the opportunity of a lifetime to create an interactive computer game inspired by the novel Bandersnatch. His project goes to a powerful game company, but the deeper he gets into the work, the more reality begins to unravel. The boundaries between fiction and real life become increasingly blurred, and Stefan discovers that someone, or maybe something, is controlling his decisions. However, something sets this story apart. It's you, the viewer, who decides the protagonist's fate, making key choices that can lead to different endings, from success to insanity to dark secrets hidden in the game's code. Is it he who loses control, or is it you? One thing is certain: after this experience, you will never look at free will in the same way again. Dark Matter. Jason Dessen leads a quiet life as a scientist, husband, and father. One night, he is kidnapped by a mysterious assailant and wakes up in a world that is his own, but at the same time completely different. He has no wife, no son, and he is now an outstanding physicist who has discovered something that can change reality. He soon realizes that someone has replaced him in his former life, and he has been thrown into a nightmare of infinite possibilities. Traversing alternate realities, he must find his way home before the world he is stuck in consumes him forever. Nothing is obvious in this story, and every decision can lead to a different, unpredictable fate. Dark Matter. 6 strangers wake up aboard a drifting spaceship. No memories, no clues as to who they are or why they are here. Each of them has only a number instead of a name, and their only companion on their journey is a mysterious android. As time passes, they discover that they are members of an infamous group of mercenaries pursued across the galaxy. But are they really who they think they are? Does their past define their future? Embroiled in interstellar conflicts, betrayals, and dangerous missions, they must not only survive, but also discover the truth about themselves. With each step, the puzzle becomes more complicated and loyalties are tested. In this dark world, nothing is certain. The past they have lost may turn out to be their greatest enemy. Continuum. The year is 2077, and the world is ruled by corporations that have subjugated society. When a group of rebels known as 𝗓𝗵𝗵𝗶𝗵 is sentenced to death, they instead flee to the past, to the year 2012. Along with them, accidentally, moves 𝗂𝐴𝐻 Cameron, a dedicated agent from the future, whose only goal is to stop the terrorists and return to her family. In her new reality, she doesn't have access to advanced technology, but her cybernetic implants still give her an advantage. She forms a partnership with young Alex Sadler, a brilliant hacker who will become one of the most powerful people in the world. Together, they try to stop 𝗓𝗵𝗵𝗶𝗵, but over time, 𝗂𝐴𝐻 begins to see that their fight for freedom is not as black and white as it seemed. As the present begins to change, she must answer one question: is it worth fighting for the future she knows, or should she create a better one? Mr. Nobody. In a distant future where humans have achieved immortality, the last mortal on Earth, 118-year-old Nemo Nobody, lies on his deathbed. His story is not one lifeline, but infinite possibilities that could have happened. As a boy, he had to make a crucial choice: stay with his father or leave with his mother. Each decision branches out into successive paths, different loves, dramas, successes, and failures. In one version, his fate is intertwined with Anna, in another with Elise, and in yet another with Jean. But which of these stories is true? Is there even a single reality? The film explores the concept of multiverses, time, and destiny, asking the question, is there one true path in life, or are all possibilities equally real? Mr. Nobody is a visual and philosophical journey through an infinity of choices in which every moment matters, until the final decision is made. Predestination. An elite time-traveling agent is in pursuit of a dangerous terrorist known as the 𝗂𝗁𝗵𝗵𝗲, responsible for numerous attacks that have claimed thousands of lives. His mission is his last assignment before retirement. He must stop the bomber once and for all. On one of his journeys, he stops at a bar and meets a mysterious stranger who weaves a tale of his past, his life as an orphan, his extraordinary training in a secret agency, and the events that led him to the present moment. Each element of the story begins to intertwine with the agent's mission, and the truth he uncovers is more disturbing than he expected. The boundaries of identity, destiny, and time begin to blur, leading to a shocking finale where everything turns out to be part of a larger, inevitable loop. Avatar. In the distant future, humanity discovers Pandora, a moon full of extraordinary landscapes, wildlife, and a valuable resource that could change Earth's future. To conquer it without open warfare with the indigenous 𝗂𝗍𝗶𝗵𝗄 race, scientists create the Avatar program, allowing humans to transfer consciousness into the bodies of artificially created beings resembling natives. Jake Sully, a paralyzed former soldier, gets a chance at a new life when he joins the project. In the body of an avatar, he discovers the magic of Pandora, its culture, and bond with nature. But when the corporation sets its sights on brutal expansion, Jake is faced with a choice: loyalty to the humans or fighting alongside the 𝗂𝗍𝗵𝗵 to defend their home. A clash begins that will change not only his life, but the future of the entire world. Inception. Dominic Cobb is a specialist in extraction, the art of stealing secrets from the subconscious by manipulating dreams. He is one of the best, but his past forces him to live in exile, away from his family. When a powerful businessman, Saito, offers him a chance to clear his name, Cobb agrees to an assignment that seems impossible. It's not about stealing, but about planting thoughts in another person's mind. To accomplish this, Cobb assembles an elite team, an architect who builds dreams, a forger capable of altering identities, a chemist who controls sleep levels, and his loyal partner, Arthur. They dive deeper into the layers of sleep, but the further they descend, the more the line between reality and illusion blurs. Cobb struggles with his own mind. He is haunted by a vision of his dead wife, Mal, whose memory could ruin the entire mission. Will he be able to distinguish the dream from reality before he loses everything? Dune, Part 2. Arrakis is burning in the fires of war. 𝗂𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗁𝗂𝗐𝗍, recognized as a messiah by the Freemen, stands at the head of a rebellion against the brutal rule of the Harkonnen and the corrupt empire. Hidden among the desert sands, he learns their ways of warfare, tames the mighty sandworms, and wins the trust of the people who see him as their chosen one. But his visions of the future do not give him peace. He sees bloody wars and the deaths of billions in his name. Meanwhile, 𝗂𝗓𝗄𝗏, the ruthless and cruel Harkonnen heir, is preparing for the final battle. Paul must decide whether to follow the path of destiny and become an emperor or try to break free. However, the price of victory may be greater than he could ever imagine. Avengers, Endgame. After years of struggle, casualties, and endless battles, the final showdown between the Avengers and Thanos is entering a decisive phase. After the Mad Titan wiped out half of all life in the universe, the surviving individuals must find a remnant of hope and courage to repair the unimaginable damage. Tony Stark drifts alone in space. Captain America loses faith. Thor sinks into despair. But when a shadow of a chance appears, the team unites once again. Time travel, unexpected alliances, and a grand battle like nothing the Marvel Universe has ever seen lead to a dramatic finale that will change the fate of the universe. The heroes must make choices that will determine their future, and the greatest sacrifice will bring about a new beginning. This is a tale of sacrifice, redemption, and hope that never fades. The Martian. A ferocious sandstorm forces astronauts to suddenly evacuate Mars. In the confusion, Mark Watney is hit by debris and disappears from radar. The crew, convinced of his death, departs, leaving him alone on the hostile, empty planet. When he regains consciousness, he realizes that he has no communication with Earth and his food supply will last only a few weeks. But he refuses to give up. As a botanist and engineer, he devises a survival plan, growing potatoes in Martian soil and trying to regain contact with NASA. Meanwhile, back on Earth, a race against time begins when scientists discover that Watney is alive. Will they be able to bring him home before he runs out of oxygen and food? Any decision, any mistake, could mean the end of this lonely struggle. Interstellar. Earth is dying, and humanity is on the brink of extinction. Dust storms choke the last crops, and food shortages make the future look bleak. In the midst of this chaos, former NASA pilot Cooper receives an offer impossible to refuse: to embark on a mission through a space-time wormhole in search of a new home for humanity. Saying goodbye to his daughter, 𝗪𝘁, tears his heart apart, but he knows he has no other choice. Together with a group of scientists, he travels through distant galaxies, confronting alien worlds, the relativity of time, and the brutal laws of space. Every decision has consequences, and seconds on one planet can mean years on Earth. When the truth about the mission comes out, the struggle for survival turns into something much bigger, a desperate attempt to overcome the limits of time and space to save those he loves. That's it for our list of the best sci-fi movies ever made. Each of these films has left a lasting impact on the science fiction genre and redefined the way we see the future. But we want to hear from you. Which of these sci-fi classics is your favorite? Or is there a movie we missed that deserves a spot? Drop your thoughts in the comments.